Soldier-like faith. The Gospel Sync number 60, Matthew 8:1, 5-13, Luke 7 verses 1-10. Welcome back. Today, we'll be combining the Gospels of Matthew and Luke to see what kind of faith impresses Jesus. So let's dive in. The Gospel, Matthew 8:1, 5-13, Luke 7 verses 1-10. When Jesus concluded his discourse in the hearing of the people, he came down from the mountain, and large crowds followed him. He went to Capernaum. There a highly valued servant of a centurion was sick and about to die. When the centurion heard about Jesus, he sent some Jewish elders to ask him to come and heal his servant. They came to Jesus and pleaded with him earnestly, "This man is worthy to have you grant this, for he loves our nation and has built our synagogue." He requests, "Lord, my servant lies at home, paralyzed and in terrible agony." So Jesus went with them. But when he was not far from the house, the centurion, 1, sent friends with the message, "Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. That is why I did not consider myself worthy to come to you. But just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell one to go, and he goes, and another to come, and he comes. I tell my servant to do something, and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those following him, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone even in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west to share the banquet with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be thrown into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Then Jesus said to them, "Go. As you have believed, so will it be done for you." His servant was healed at that very hour. And when the messengers returned to the house, they found the servant in good health. My thoughts. What was different about the centurion's faith and the faith of all those in Israel? Jesus points out that there's a major disparity between this Roman commander and even his own disciples. He declares, "I have not found anyone even in Israel with such great faith." So what did Jesus see in this soldier? And what did the soldier see in Jesus? Let's start with the centurion. As he states, he sees authority from a military point of view. If he tells someone to do something, it's as good as done. As a commander, he was used to people following his orders. And if they didn't, well, everyone knows that's not going to end on a positive note. He also knew what it meant to obey the authority placed over him. When they said jump, the only question he had was how high. He was used to the chain of command in the military. And based on his understanding of Jesus, he saw him as a superior authority. Jesus just needed to say the word and it was as good as done. And notice Jesus' response. He applauds his faith. In fact, he was impressed. He hadn't found this kind of faith in any of the children of Israel. But here's this pagan, Gentile, occupier, a symbol of everything disdained by the Jews, and he gets first place in the faith race. And Jesus didn't downplay what his faith was based on, his understanding of authority. He doesn't say, "Oh, you don't have to elevate me like that, friend. I'm just a nice guy doing nice things for confused people who don't know I'm the king." No, Jesus essentially affirms the centurion's view of his rightful authority over sickness, people, and everything. And Jesus calls this great faith. I'm not sure in modern Christianity that we would so quickly associate Jesus' authority with faith. Usually it's coupled with knowing the right things. Normally we connect believing correct doctrine with the giants in the faith. But is that all Jesus is looking for? I think the centurion's understanding of authority and Jesus' position over him led to a particular posture of faith. He was quick to submit to that authority and thereby believed that Jesus was able to command healing into his servant. You're the king, you say it and it's done. The centurion's faith was not just data, it was an understanding and submission to a power. Jesus had rulership over a kingdom. He has control over all creation. Sure, the centurion would have to intellectually ascend to these facts, but he put the knowledge into action by placing himself under that authority. Which he did, unhesitantly and absolutely. I think this is part of what James is alluding to when he writes, "For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead." James 2 verse 26. My story. When I was a private in the Army, I was sent to Recondo School. It was a very demanding 3-week course in the basics of reconnaissance. I graduated at the top of the class, so the Corps commander, a 3-star general, pinned on my Recondo badge and said, "Son, if there's anything I can do for you, come and see me." A couple of months later, I was running into all kinds of red tape in trying to get an assignment to a ranger unit, so I decided to see the general. Now, if you're as unfamiliar with the military as I was as a lowly private, you probably don't know that if a general tells you to come and see him, he's probably just being nice, or at the very least you need to go through the proper channels. But not me. I took him at his word and marched right up to the 18th Airborne Corps headquarters and asked to see General Warner. His secretary very kindly asked if I had an appointment, knowing that I didn't. I said no and explained my situation and the invitation the general had given me. She smiled and said, "The general is not in now, but I'm sure the Corps Sergeant Major will see you." I was way out of my depth and didn't have a clue. But everyone was playing along with this bodacious private who had the nerve to take the general up on his offer. The sergeant major invited me in and kindly listened to my plight, which is not normal for sergeant majors, I guarantee it. He said, "Let me see what we can do about this. If you want to be an airborne ranger, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to make that happen." Then he gently instructed me on how to use the chain of command in the future to solve my problems. Slightly smiling face. Now, I didn't quite understand the military protocol as well as the centurion, but I understood enough that persons in high command can get things done. And very much like the centurion, I was bold enough to ask, as disciple makers, are we painting faith in Jesus this way? Are we teaching people that our King says, "Son, if there's anything I can do for you, come and see me"? He's not just being nice. We don't have to go through channels to see him and make our request. We can boldly go to the throne of grace like the centurion and private would and lay our petition before him. The kind of faith Jesus is looking for believes and submits to his power and authority. Our action plan. Now it's time for application. Here's some ideas. Consider the faith of those you are discipling. Are they bold and bodacious? Use stories of Bible characters to bolster their faith. Do or pray something big together as a church. Timidity and faith do not go together. Let's gird up our loins, so to speak, and have a soldier's kind of faith, believing in God's power and authority.